Fantasy football is my religion.
Smile!
Because I love Brad.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
All I see are lies and collusion. This whole season is nuts.
Giddy on up and giddy on out.
One-on-one, I'm undefeated, never lost.
Good evening, fellas. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Gravy, the official podcast of the Kappa Sigma Alumni Fantasy Football League, hosted by me, your currently still undefeated and 2014 Bundy champion, and Wayne Gallman winner and Melvin Gordon fan, Stu. How are you doing this week, Stu?
I have had better weeks. It has been a little rough. Popped my tire yesterday on my way to work. Got to change the tire to a spare in the rain at 7:45 in the morning. Got to change that, and then I got to replace a battery and an alternator myself last night. So I have had better days.
You know what? I mean, kind of just like in fantasy. You popped a tire in Saquon Barkley, but here came your spare, Melvin Gordon.
Yep, I'm a fan, so he will definitely should help me out with this Saquon Barkley out and give me a stupid push at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous having that 1-2 punch at running back.
Yep, and then Josh then to have Josh Jacobs as my flex every single week, I'm a fan. So
yeah, you're going to be a pretty protected running back there at the end. So I expect a lot of people to be sending you trade offers for Josh Jacobs now with the Melvin Gordon news.
We will see. I don't think it's going to happen. Nobody really wants to trade me this year, and I'm fine with that. So, all right, Brad, let's go ahead and get on to our fantasy juggernauts. What have we got this week?
Well, to be a fantasy juggernaut,
Brad, let's fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot to do that drop thing. Yeah, that cool drop thing that I'm not used to doing. Let's just go ahead and do that right now.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch!
Hey, learning on the fly here. We kind of have a new system set up, so we're still learning. But yeah, fantasy juggernauts. The team scores 130-plus points and wins. Your top juggernaut was Mo with Jesus Christ and 187.58 points. Mike Evans dropping a 44-point burger. Now next comes me at number 2 with 155.94. MVP Deshaun Watson with 33 points. And then Sam with a nice solid 148 points. His MVP was Alvin Kamara himself, 32 points. My gosh. 130 points wasn't the floor this week. It was 140. It was ridiculous. But those are your fantasy juggernauts from our past matchups, and let's see who's in week 4. You got to tune in next week to see.
Yeah, it was crazy this week. Mo puts up the second highest fantasy points ever scored in the league, and he holds the first one by 2 points. So nuts juggernauts this week.
I literally thought there for a second Mo was going to reach the magical 200. I thought he was going to do it.
We'll get to somebody that did that in one of our other leagues, Brad. It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
yeah, freaking ridiculous. But yeah, those are the juggernauts. And with that said, you want to talk about some injuries, Stu?
Here we go. All right, we've got our set of injuries, and there are plenty of them to go. First, but not least, is Saquon Barkley. I have my head down. It was sad to see. It pretty much guaranteed that I have no shot of winning against Dixon this last week. Even if I would have put in Nelson Aguilar like I really, really fought about for the last hour before the game started, still wouldn't have given me the win. Would have probably given me 20 more points. But, yeah, he's supposed to be out 4 to 8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. He's supposed to receive a second opinion on his injury today, I think, but I haven't heard anything new. So we'll see what happens. He was, Gallman's the backup. I did win him somehow. I'm not sure how I got him that cheap. I've heard of what some of the crazy numbers were, like 74. I heard 100. Some people spent a straight 100. Crazy.
Yeah. There was crazy bids on him, and I think probably the reason why is Gallman's definitely not as talented as Barkley, but Daniel Jones looked good.
Yeah.
And when you have a quarterback that can look good, that helps your running back out in your running situation. With Barkley out, Daniel Jones, I think they're gonna run the ball, but they're not gonna be afraid to let him pass. They've been calling him Danny Dimes because he's been throwing on a dime, and then Sterling Shepard looked good. Golden Tate's about to come back, and he loves his freaking tight end because Evan Ingram helped Mo almost reach 200 points. Evan Ingram's going to be a monster with Daniel Jones under center. They're going to – I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Giants are actually fantasy relevant without Saquon Barkley. That's crazy, but they're going to put up some points.
Yeah, no, they are for sure. It looks like they're just, this needed to happen. Looks like the kid is what they thought he was in preseason. It's going crazy good for them, and they could get more wins. I really, really see this going well for them. He's going to have his rookie, issues, but
yeah, he's going to have his rookie issues. But here's the thing, too: the Giants' defense sucks. You know what's the amazing thing about defense that sucks? It means garbage points in the second half.
Yeah, it does.
So much garbage points. He may look horrible in the first half, and the receivers may not be doing too great. But people are going to be pulling their hair out when Golden Tate and Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard are freaking coming down these garbage time touchdowns, and it's going to be driving people up the wall. Next guy we got
Cam.
Yeah,
Scammy Newton here. It's pretty bad.
What's going on with those scams?
He's got the Joseph Persons report. It's apparently they keep calling it different crap, but it's a mid-high ankles. It's a mid ankle sprain or a foot sprain. It's all the same crap. Whatever terminology you hear out there, it's all the same thing. But like any other sprain, or ligament strain, it can be the exact same.
It's basically in the bottom of his foot, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is, but it's also it's the ligaments in his foot, which can cause instability in his foot. So it really it has a wide range of things, just like Saquon Barkley. It could be a really bad high ankle sprain, or it could be a mild one, and it's the same thing. He's clearly been dealing with this since the beginning of the season. It just hasn't been talked about a lot. They're still not giving the severity of this injury. I don't think it's season ending. I think there was a quarterback a couple of years ago that had something similar, but he had the severe version of it and had to have surgery on it and was out 6 months for recovery. Clearly, if that was the issue, they would have already had surgery for him. They would have already had him recovering. That doesn't seem to be the case. So I'm thinking it's a more mild sprain. They're going to wait. They seem to have something in Kyle Allen. And so I think they're going to let Cam Newton try to get fully healthy and see what they actually have in Cam when he's 100%. Because without his run game, Cam isn't the greatest quarterback in the league.
Now, Kyle Allen did face the Arizona Cardinals Swiss cheese defense, and they can make anybody look good. So it'll be neat to see how everyone faces the Texans today, this coming Sunday. So that'll be a big key to see how things are done. I still think Greg Olsen, old Greg, as long as he's healthy, is gonna be a top 5 tight end. Kyle Allen's gonna pepper him. He's gonna be the safety valve, just like he was for Cam. I think Christian McCaffrey's okay. I think we're going to end up seeing we're going to see DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. One of those two is going to be the guy. I don't think Kyle Allen is talented enough to have 2 number 1 wide receivers. Maybe they'll be okay and be able to do some more like I know they'll do lots of trick plays with DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, but really I only think one of them is going to come out of it. I don't know which one yet. No idea. Curtis Samuel was the guy in Arizona. DJ Moore, he had a touchdown and 52 yards receiving on 1 catch.
Yeah.
That's not very reliable.
It's not. No, not at all. I mean, it's not even close to reliable.
Well, it'll be neat to see how it goes along. If I have DJ Moore or Curtis Samuel, I'm holding both to see what happens because I think this offense, there's so much talent on it. The offensive line's not horrendous. I think that even with a backup quarterback in, they can float. I think they can stay afloat and be very fantasy relevant. There's too many weapons. There's just too many darn weapons. If you're Kyle Allen, you came into one of the best fantasy positions there is for a quarterback, just to have that many weapons around you.
Yep.
A lot better than, let's say, Miami.
I completely agree.
We had another injury, which isn't anything a fantasy player would use, which is James Devlin, also known as the Vulture, Stu.
Yep.
He's placed on injured reserve with a neck injury, but I had to put this in here because it's a big deal. It's a big deal because it affects Sony Michel. Okay, with James Devlin fullback, they would do big packages for Sony Michel when they're doing the ground and pound. But now, since he's been out, there are a lot more 3 wide receiver sets and less run-heavy packages for Sony. And leading up to this injury, Sony was only averaging 2.4 yards per carry on 45 carries. Sony Michel might be fantasy useless the rest of the year.
I could see that. Like, it doesn't seem like that's out of the realm of possibilities. But yeah, I think he's got his own spot. He's got his own niche that he's going to work with. So yeah, I don't know if he's irrelevant completely, but he's not the guy that everybody
He's not
wants.
the guy.
No, he's not.
Yeah, and let's just say with a healthy, sexy Rexy, man, they are using the junk out of that guy. And I'm wondering, even if they in garbage time, if they start using Damian Harris, the rookie, just to save Sony for the playoffs.
I mean, that's totally possible. I mean, if they keep, like, their defense is so freaking good that why not? Yeah, like, completely why not? You know that you have a really good shot at the playoffs. Win 10 games, win 11 games, and let him rest. Like, and then bring him out. Make sure that he's getting reps. Make sure he's getting in there to make sure he stays in shape and stuff. But other than that, why hurt him?
Yep, exactly.
Next,
Bill Belichick does not coach our fantasy teams.
No, could give 2 rats bobos. So next up, we've got Damian Williams. I like this kid. I really do. He keeps getting screwed over. I think he's got value when he's healthy. He's got a right knee contusion, still not practicing as of today. Only has 1.5 yards per carry so far this season. Not the worst among all the qualified running backs, but still, I think he's got a shot if he can get out there. McCoy is clearly still good. Clearly, it was the Bills. They suck. They've already hurt their new rookie running back Singletary. So clearly, their offensive line was a large portion of that problem. So I think whoever the starting running back for the Chiefs is who you start. If both of them out there, there's an argument for both of them. Speaking of both of them, LeSean McCoy is also out, also in question this week with a left ankle sprain. Re-injured it on Sunday. They limited his snaps too, probably because of an irritation with all this. He's questionable for this week. He was last week too. I think they get him healthy. I think they get him back out there. They're going to use him strategically. And if Damian Williams can get healthy, he has got a shot to be the other percentage of that. So it could be a running back by committee a little bit more, so that McCoy may get the touchdowns, which is what you probably want. But if Damian Williams can get some nice yardage, they're both probably going to be serviceable.
Yeah, and they're playing Detroit, and I believe Detroit, if I'm looking at it right there, they are not very good against the run this year. So, I mean, if Damian Williams or LaShawn McCoy, if one of them misses, you go ahead and start Darrell Williams with whoever else is starting.
Yep.
Because they're going to get enough work where they're going to be fantasy relevant, at least for your flex. It's like even just like when Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy are both out there, you just start both.
Yep. No, you use them. You use whatever you have to use. Like, why would you not?
One's going to score 20 points. One's going to score 15.
Yep.
Or one's going to score 25. One's going to score 10. Either way, you're going to get your 35 points between two guys, and any of us would take that on a given Sunday. LaShawn McCoy and Damian Williams are definitely not going to put up workhorse numbers because they're both there in the backfield, but they weren't drafted to do that either. LaShawn McCoy was so late, and when he went to the Chiefs, it was a big surprise to everyone. And then with Damian Williams, he was a third-round running back. And when you take a running back in the third round, you're not expecting like workhorse material like Ezekiel Elliott or a Saquon Barkley. You're expecting less than that.
Follow the equity. Follow the equity and everything for fantasy football. That's what's relevant.
Exactly. And then keep an eye on Darwin Thompson. If LaShawn McCoy and Damian Williams both out there, Darwin Thompson's a good dart throw for a flex because they're not going to give the full workload to Darrell Williams. But they've shown since he's the bigger back, Darrell Williams will get the bigger bulk. Darwin Thompson's kind of a little guy. He's a scat back. So don't expect to get him to get the full workload because they'll break him. Kind of like a Phil Lindsay thing. I'd be afraid he would get broken if he was Philip Lindsay out there. I think Kansas City's smarter than that. They won't use him like that. Every time I see little guy out there like that, I'm like, oh my God, one hit, they're gonna get hurt.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. They know what they're doing. I mean, at this point, they know what they're looking for. They know what running back they want. Andy Reid clearly knows how to use a running back in this league. So I just trust the system. Next up, we've got my guy, Deshaun Jackson. It just sucks that they're playing a week 3 or a Thursday night game this week. I really think if he had till Sunday, he would probably be out there. But luckily, I have Nelson Aguilar as well. So I think he's going to be all right, at least for a flex play this week to get me by. And then Deshaun Jackson will be back out there hopefully next week. But that was what they kind of mentioned last week. So nothing new. He's still just recovering, having to
takes it down right away from Carson Wentz, but Alshon Jeffrey and Zach will get a little bit more targets. And, like I said, Aguilar will get his. As long as he can catch the dang ball, he needs to stop dropping the ball.
Yeah, that was – it made me feel good that I didn't put him in when he was at like 2 points for almost the entirety of the game, and then 2 touchdowns kind of made me sad.
Yeah.
So it's all good. But, I think hopefully Zach Ertz will pop back up and, have some decent receptions this year. I don't know where he's been this year. It's been a little nuts.
Chris Godwin.
Hip injury.
Chris Godwin's due. Hip injury. Didn't practice on Wednesday. Yeah. Mike Evans would get used a ton against the Rams.
Mike
Evans is a big guy, so I wouldn't be worried about his usage. OJ Howard
can maybe get some usage.
Bruce Arians still hates that. Like, it's one of those things, like, you feel like, I'm going to put OJ Howard out there. He's going to have a boom game, and then you're going to get 0 points. You get a freaking goose egg because for some reason they're running Peyton Barber out there doing underneath routes instead of OJ Howard. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they end up doing.
I mean, to be fair, when Lubbock drafted him, we were all like, "Damn, that's a good pick."
Oh yeah,
and he still should be a good pick and could be throughout the rest of the fantasy season. And probably the reason why Lubbock didn't pick up one of those other chance tight ends that have gone off here recently was because he had OJ Howard, and that was supposed to be the number 4 of the tight end world this year.
OJ Howard was supposed to be putting up the numbers that like Darren Waller and Mark Andrews are.
Yep,
or like how DJ Hawkinson did.
That's what he did last year. But again, he had 2 random quarterbacks that kind of used him as a dump off, and that doesn't seem to be the case this year. Next up, we have T.Y. Hilton, quad injury, pulled from Sunday's game. Did you see that? Like, he had an amazing touchdown, and then he was like, "Cool, I'm out. I'm just going to go to the locker room right now, coach." He just like waved.
He goes,
what is it?
I did my job. But, for fantasy, the worst ever is when they come out and they were questionable and they hurt themselves and you get left with a goose punch on the bench. At least the man came out, got 60 yards receiving and a touchdown. At that point, you go, you know what? You take the rest of the game off, TY, because thank you. And that's what TY stands for. Thank you. Because you're always thanking that man because he puts up points before he goes off the field. He's one of those rare receivers that does that. He'll get hurt in the middle of the dang game, but it's always after he's done something for you.
Yeah, and you're just expecting him to keep going.
Yep. Quad injury, soft tissue injury, so it takes time to heal and linger. It's questionable for this week. I doubt he plays. I bet they give him a week off. They want that thing fully healed. Jacoby Brissett is proven to be a pretty good fill-in for Andrew Luck this year.
Much better than what most people thought.
Oh, yeah. And then other players impacted, Paris Campbell and Eric Ebron. I really expect the rookie Paris Campbell to pick up where Hilton left off. Brissett likes throwing to him. And Ebron's such a big freaking red zone target. I expect those two to have good weeks this week.
Next up, we've got Devin Singletary. We talked about him earlier. Still hasn't practiced. Didn't practice last week. Hasn't practiced this week. He's very questionable for Sunday's game. Remains week to week. He's got that hamstring issue, which just sucks for running backs because they linger every freaking year.
Oh, yeah. And if you're the Bills, you don't need to throw Devin Singletary out there because I think they're playing New England, so they're going to lose. And they got Frank Gore, who's just – that man is a freak of nature. I don't know how he did it. He must be holding something hostage for Father Time because Father Time has not come to get him yet.
No.
And
well,
Frank Gore,
no, I saw a GIF today.
Frank Gore still be playing until I retire.
Yeah, well, I saw Frank Gore. I saw a GIF today of like a robot that looked sort of like a football player, and it was like rolling around, and it just looked pretty sweet. And so the GIF was "Hey, this is the robot that's going to go down in 2050, right before Frank Gore comes out and replaces him and is his backup for the week." Like, I mean. I was like, that dude is just going to play forever. He's going to be like 102, still out there just smashing people in the face.
He's a fantasy vampire. He gets put on rosters, and he sucks the youth out of other running backs.
Next up, we've got Vance McDonald. That was like a crazy one. Just kind of came out of the middle of nowhere. He apparently has a shoulder sprain. His arm was in a sling. It's got to be pretty bad. The Steelers went ahead and traded away a 5th-round draft pick for next year for the Seahawks tight end, Nick something or other.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
No, I think he's going to be out a little bit. I think they're kind of downplaying it. They probably need their tight end, because they need something with him gone. Who it really helps is Will Disley, the tight end for Seattle, because I think that's who they traded for the tight end from. I think it was Vanette they traded for. So Will Disley is going to get even more routes in Seattle. So whoever has Will Disley
Well, I think the person that had Vance McDonald, co-pro, actually picked up Will Disley this week on waivers. Maybe had picked him up last week on waivers. So either way, Vince or he might have, and so co-pro's walking on sunshine. He's like, cool, this isn't a hard decision anymore. So
yeah, Will Disley's outplayed Vance McDonald every freaking week so far. So, and when Will Disley was healthy last year, he proved to be very fantasy relevant. So, very unknown commodity. Has a nickname of Big Montana. So yeah, Will Disley. Next up, we got Ito Smith Stu.
Some good news for you, buddy.
We have a news break?
No, some good news for you.
Oh, yeah, it is good news for me. Left the game for concussion. Currently in concussion protocol. We'll check Sunday, see if he's starting. You know, with concussion protocol, you never know how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
It just helps Devontae. That's all it does. Gets him on the field more. Every week, Devontae Freeman has snaps percentage has gone up. He was all the way up to 92% or something like ridiculous last past Sunday. But of course, that's probably because of Ito getting hurt. But before that, each week before that, it was going up. He's still catching the ball out of the backfield, and his rush has been going up every week. So I hope it continues. I hope so because I'm starting him this Sunday. Who's next on here, Stu?
We've got Taylor Gabriel. Band is always just dynamic. I mean, he's done this. What he did it with the Falcons a couple of years ago. I think he did it with the Bears, maybe too, or maybe I'm thinking of the opposite way. And he was a flash in the pan again Monday night with 3 touchdowns and then out in the concussion protocol. So I think Matt or Lovick picked him up today. I don't think it's a bad flex option, especially if you know you're going to have some lower points or have a weird bye and you need some upside. Put him out there. It's not going to hurt anything at this point. So, yeah, I like him.
Yeah, it helps out Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, and Tariq Cohen if he's out. I think it helps Allen Robinson and Tariq Cohen the most. Anthony Miller seems to be the lost man in that offense. There's a lot of talk about him in camp, but it's just not coming to fruition. And they love putting Tariq Cohen out there in the slot. So if Taylor Gabriel can't go, I would expect Tariq Cohen probably be the benefactor of him missing time. And then Julian Edelman practice this Wednesday, probable for week 4. Man, that man's practicing, he's in.
Yep.
Affects James White, takes some underneath routes away from him. He's coming back from being off last week due to being there for the birth of his child. And affects Josh Gordon and Philip Dorsett because just it's less targets to go around. You can only throw it so many times. And, yeah, so Julian Edelman's back. He's a must start when he's there, especially with no Antonio Brown. And so I'm assuming Co-Pro will be starting Julian Edelman this week.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, there's no way he doesn't. So, yeah, I like him. Good news for Lubbock, though. We've got Tevin Coleman. Looks like he's could report by next week after the bye. Something that Lubbock desperately needs. If anything, that's a running back by committee. Matt Breida still got his place. Who's the third guy?
We got Jeff Wilson they use in the red zone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mustard is Mustard's got to be the guy that loses his job.
Yeah,
there.
I think they have Mustard in Coleman role, and that's what they were using him for. And it stinks because I just got him. I figured Tevin Coleman would be out a little bit longer, so he's not. So I'm not gonna be. So must start is no longer a must start. So we'll just have to. I'll have to probably let him go by the wayside as soon as Tevin Coleman's officially back.
Completely agree.
Yeah, those are it, guys.
Crazy. So, guys, don't forget, we do have 2 buys this week. We've got the New York Jets, and we've got the San Francisco 49ers. So, that doesn't affect too many people. Lubbock, me, maybe.
That means I don't get to face label.
No, I know it's hurting your feelings. I know it's just so sad. So, that's It's not that bad. This is one of the easier bye weeks, but that gives me and Lovick a running back each that pretty much is going to be there for the rest of the season, which is nice. Actually, it gives Lovick two running backs that'll be there the rest of the season. So
those are your bye weeks, guys. So don't forget, if they're on bye, put them on your bench. Stu, Dynasty teams. You want to give us a quick update what's going on in the Dynasty League?
So week 3, it was the Brad versus Stu matchup for Dynasty. I came out on top on this one with 155 points. Yeah. I had Keenan Allen. I had Russell Wilson for 53 points. It was all around just a good day for me in the Dynasty. I needed to win somewhere because I wasn't winning in our league. So Brad goes to 1-2. I go to 2-1. Matt beat Adam, so we had the Shep Bowl in the Dynasty. Matt won, so he went 2-1. Adam went 1-2. Rod beat B-Dub, so he's 2-1. B-Dub's 1-2, and then we had Dixon versus Puva. Dixon won, so Dixon's 2-1. Puva's 1-2. Dixon destroys our entire league when it comes to points. The man scored over 200 points. It was absurd to watch. Nuts. He was already tied with Mo, and then had one more guy to go, and he also scored 20 points. It was absolutely absurd to watch. Dixon's got to be extremely excited about his team right now. Don't know that exactly is going to happen every week, but still crazy good. Week 4, we've got Brad beating Puva by 92%, Adam beating B-Dub by 55%, Dixon beating me by 77%, and Matt beating Rod by 57%. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to facing the guy that just scored 200 points, but I didn't do so bad myself, but 50-point deficit is kind of rough to come back from. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
But all right, Brad, I think we've got the league consensus rankings. What do we got so far?
Number 12, Lovick, 2-time Bunny champion, but he's looking to be a first-time dildo champion.
First to worst, trademarked by Stu Weiniger. I love my shirt idea. Really, really, really. I'll make this promise, Brad. If Lovick wins the dildo, I will buy you and I those shirts, and we'll wear them to the draft next year.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, 22. It's like $22 a piece, and I don't give a shit. I will buy those shirts for you and I for the draft next year.
Awesome. I love it. Number 11, Mr. Rodney. He's got some work to do on that roster. So Rod, you're coming in at number 11. You got to win, but some people just don't like your roster, I guess.
Yeah, he's got an all right team. He's scoring okay points, but nothing crazy special. No, just crazy player out there that everybody's clamoring for. So I think that's what part of the funk is. I think he's going to have some wins. He's going to have some losses. Nothing to write home about. Not a powerhouse team, and that seems to be what this league is right now. You either at the top or you're at the bottom, pretty much.
Yeah. And then coming in at number 10, revamped team. Traded his whole team away, basically. Was so excited for this week. Said he was going to score 144 points. Well, somebody scored over 144 points. It was his opponent. And Matt and his revamped team comes at number 10 and still 0-3.
Yeah, that's just a rough start for Lovick and Matt.
But Matt's team looked way better.
He did.
Way
no.
Better. He put up over 100 points.
We talked to him.
Better.
We talked to him last week. After he made all those 4 freaking trades in one day. We both said we liked his trades. We both said we think his team is better, and it was. just happened to go against a team that was better. There's nothing you can do about that. That's fantasy. So
Yeah, he went up against Alvin Kamara, which probably destroyed most people in their leagues. So
yeah, Sammy with an eye. Sammy with an eye had a revenge game. He had to come back and beat Matt after his loss to me. So I think Sam's gonna keep crushing people for the rest of the season. So next up we've got Day. I don't hate his team. I really don't. But with his weird double tight end strategy and Zach Ertz not really quite paying off like he was supposed to.
Neither is Kelsey, right?
No, not necessarily. He's not putting up the crazy games he normally does. His team is weird. Doesn't have a really solid running back one. Devontae Adams has been kind of lackluster this year with Rodgers as well. So, he's doing all right. He's got some wins, so you can't say much for him.
Yeah, it's going to change. Day has a win, but there's going to be a week. It's going to happen where Ertz and Kelsey both just go off for like 30 burgers. And whoever he's facing is not going to know what hit him.
Hey, let's not have that this week, though, because I'm facing him. So that's not going to happen this week. Well, that can happen.
You'll know very soon. You can play tomorrow night, so you'll know.
yeah, I'll know real quick. If Zach Ertz has a 30-point game, I'll know it's me. All right, guys. Next up, we've got Vince. Haven't heard much from the guy. Not even, trolling the league these days. I talked to him a little bit today. Apparently, he's not feeling so good with some allergy stuff. So, other than that, I haven't. Yeah, I feel better, man. Really haven't heard much from him. His team is so. I like a couple of his pieces. What is it? David Johnson's doing. What is it?
Tyler Lockett is amazing.
Yeah,
it's like Hot Pockets.
Yeah,
he's just great. I've never had a bad Hot Pocket.
Well, he had a rough.
Tyler Lockett.
He had a rough couple of weeks starting out, and then he also, David Johnson's looking a lot better this year. So he's got some pieces that are good. We'll just see what happens. He just gets a couple more wins. That's what matters in this league.
It all depends on if Todd Gurley gets more touches.
Yeah.
If Todd Gurley gets 25 touches like he was last year, Vince's team becomes really, really good. If they continue to give him 15 touches and nothing around the red zone, it just hurts you.
It's like he should have stuck with the team he drafted, and he would probably be doing a lot better right now. It's like someone took Nick Chubb from him or something. And next we've got Adam. A little high for my personal taste, but, I guess everybody likes his team well enough. That's what the league voted.
Adam is 0-3, but they must really like the moves he's made. We must have a lot of Russell Wilson fans out there. And, it's a consensus ranking, so there it is. Adam comes in at number 7.
Yeah, shocker. I will say, with Adam, Matt, and Lovick all being 0-3, it sounds like they need to get some wins. That's what I'm thinking. Get some podcasts, get some wins, man.
They need to get some wins. Right now, they're collectively 0-9.
Yeah, golly. What, we're 5-1? God, that's rough.
We're doing pretty.
I'm sorry I'm bringing down the average there, man. Apologize. Next up, next up we've got me at number 6. Very, very understandable. I'm surprised I'm not lower with the loss of Saquon, but possibly with the Melvin Gordon news, everybody was like, well, guess he's just evening out. We'll see. I don't have him this week, so it's going to be a closer game with Day than I really feel comfortable with, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. And then next up, we got Dixon coming in at number 5. Dixon's team looks good. He can put up some points on you. He puts up pretty good solid scores, and I think Dixon's going to be in the hunt the rest of the year.
Yep. And at number 4, we've got Sammy with an I. He's got a good team. Had a weird game against me. Seems like he's back in form this week. So I like his team. He's gonna keep beating people. I think buys may be a little funky for him, but other than that, he's gonna have a couple of wins for sure. He could definitely be a playoff team this year. Definitely does not look like a dildo champion this year.
No. Cooper Kupp looks like a league winner.
Yeah, tried to trade for him. Didn't happen in time, and then he blew up. I was like, well, that opportunity's gone.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is freaking amazing. And then number 3, we have CoPro. Trade away DeAndre Hopkins. We'll get to that in a little while, but but people like that what he got in return with T.Y. Hilton and Julian Edelman and Mr. Demarcus Robinson. I'm always calling him Denard Robinson like he's the mission quarterback, but he's not. It's Demarcus. So hello, Mr. Robinson. Pro comes in at number 3.
I like his team. He's good. I think as long as Ty can come back, he's going to be just fine. At number 2,
and
we've
Dalvin
got
Cook is amazing. That run they were talking about the Vikings being run first, and they're not lying about it.
Yeah, anybody that passed on him in the second round has got to feel like, damn it.
I feel like.
Yeah, that's just like crazy. I mean, I thought he was going to be okay. I was like, I felt it was a little high. Clearly, we were wrong. Koprovic got that one right completely. Next up, we've got Brad. No shock that you and Mo are up here. You're the 2 undefeated teams of the league. Mo is just blowing people out of the water. So clearly understandable why you're number 2. You pulled off another victory there. So your team's great. I like it. I think you're, shooting for trying to get 4 or 5 or 6 in a row if you can.
I got a little worried because the Bears defense, my gosh, they were just going to town on Case Keenum, and Case Keenum was just giving it up.
Yeah,
I mean, he wasn't fighting at all. He was just bent over, pants down.
He didn't ask for dinner. Yeah,
no, he didn't. He bought them dinner.
He did, and then they took him back.
I couldn't believe it.
I had him open up the trunk of his Honda Civic and just went to town.
Yeah, thankfully Terry got a touchdown. Mo likes to call him Scary Terry, but I'm sorry, it's got to be Backup Terry because that video. Oh my gosh, Lord! Oh, Backup Terry, what you doing, Terry?
Yeah, if you don't know if you don't know either one of those references, please find out what they mean and watch them. All right, and so number 1 overall with the highest points of the week, the Juggernaut Supreme, Mo.
Rough. He's the top dog.
Yeah, he's not liking the Eckler thing. He's going to enjoy it for another week, and then we'll see how that goes from there. But
fun fact: every time Mo wins, he gains another shank.
His entire body's made of shanks at this point.
He's just walking shrapnel.
Well, guys, that is our league consensus rankings. Until next week, we'll see what changes. It's going to be nuts. Next up, we've got our collusion corner. All right, Brad, what do we have for trades this week?
All right, Stu, we had some trades. Let's start off with this one, though. Adam traded Peyton Barber and Philip Lindsay to Rod for Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. Analyze that trade.
Why? Philip Lindsay. I actually like him. He went off. Rod's very excited about it. As long as Royce Freeman's gone, Lindsay's just going to feed. Peyton Barber, he's the hot hand of the moment. Don't really care for him, but if he's there, he's there. Jordan Howard, don't really want him. He's the run game for the Eagles is not great. Don't really care. His other
basically a Philip Lindsay Sanders.
Yeah. I actually feel Rod won this one because he got Phillip Lindsay. And the rest of it is just whatever you want. And so I'd take Peyton Barber over Jordan Howard for sure. Miles Sanders, I think, has upside, and both of us feel that way, I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah, I love Miles Sanders. I targeted him in the draft for trading him away. I think he's going to be a second half beast. But in order for him to do that, Doug Peterson has to feed him the dang ball. But with all the offensive weapons they have, bring Deshaun Jackson back, and seem to be pretty throw heavy.
Yep. So yeah, that's how I feel for right now. So good job, Rod. Adam, you're slowly trading your team away. So
What would you give? What a grade? What would you give? A through F. What would you give Adam?
A D.
What would you give Rod?
A B. It's not like
There we
superstars.
A B. So that means you both get to wear a helmet from 1965. Okay. The next trade we have is me trading Robert Woods to Rod for Devontae Freeman. Analyze that trade, Stu.
All right. So I like Robert Woods. I want Robert Woods. I don't have anything to trade you for Robert Woods, so I haven't offered at all. Robert Woods is having a rough time right now. He should. He has a chance this week to come back to fantasy relevance. Right now, he is not. I think we're all have that mindset that Robert Woods is the Robert Woods of the last 2 years, and right now he's not. So, Rod, I think you traded high, or you traded low for on the Devontae Freeman side. I probably would have kept Devontae Freeman. Running backs are a rare commodity around here, and starting running backs are even rarer. So
I will say this about Robert Woods, Stu. Robert Woods, the last 2 weeks, had a touchdown callback in both games. And if he has that catch and he has that that touchdown, and then I think week 1 he had a big catch called back too, for like 50 yards or something. So due to penalties. So if those 3 penalties aren't there, and the refs weren't so freaking flag happy, he would be the Robert Woods of last year.
well, the NFL
Jared
has
Goff much better.
Yeah, I mean he would.
They're flag happy.
The
I think there are better days ahead.
They're so flag happy this year. They're so rough. I mean, the Players Association's complaining. The general fans, the coaches, everyone is complaining about how many penalties have been called this year. I think in the first 3 weeks there have been more penalties.
Turn off his TV and forcing him to spend time with his family.
Well, I mean, for real, they have done more penalties in the first 3 weeks of football this year than they did the first 8 games last year.
Just ridiculous.
So yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. That's the way fantasy goes.
What do you think? Give the trades. The trades are great, Stu.
I'm gonna give you probably a B plus because Devontae Freeman was kind of rough. As long as Ito Smith is out, he'll be an A. But for the most part, he's been a B plus this entire year. Rod, I'll give you a B minus, C plus, somewhere in that range. Robert Woods, if he can come back and he'll be the Robert Woods from the last 2 years, you got a great wide receiver. But he's not a wide receiver one. You don't really have one of those on your team, so you need him to pay off.
Yeah, and I think he will. I think there'll be better days ahead for Robert Woods. I really think there's just going to be games where Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks are kind of flipping on who has the highest score. And then I think Cooper Kupp's just going to stay being Cooper Kupp. But Stu, history was made for the first time in league history. We had a 3-team trade. I've been trying since I figured out we were able to do this to get one to go through.
And
it finally happened. with Rod and CoPro assisting me in this monumentous feat.
I have not been a part of one of these conversations, but I have heard about every single one of these conversations. So, Lee, when I say he has been trying for weeks to get this done, he is not exaggerating. He is nonstop. This has been in his wet dreams for weeks trying to get this to happen.
I have sent trade offer ideas while changing poopy diapers. I did not rest until we got one through. And these were the results. Rod receives Will Fuller and Rashad Penny from me. CoPro receives Demarcus Robinson, T.Y. Hilton for me, and he receives Julian Edelman from Rod. And then I received DeAndre Hopkins, Mr. Must Start himself, and a Detroit Lion trash bag. Analyze that trade, Stu.
All right. So it's highway robbery. I'm going to say it right now. It's what I said to you whenever I saw the trade. DeAndre Hopkins, get DeAndre Hopkins and to give away and to be given away, what did you even give away here? You gave away
T.Y. Will Fuller and Rashad Penny.
Yeah, so two of those are relevant, and Rashad Penny is hurt. So, and T.Y.'s hurt, and Fuller can get hurt on any moment's notice. So, yeah, you hardcore traded up there. So, yeah, you're getting an A. We're just going to go ahead and put you an A with a gold star there. CoPro got Robinson, which I like him a lot until Tyreek Hill, it sounds like he's getting healthier and healthier by the day. I like him as a flex play for a high upside. I like T.Y. Hilton if he can get healthy, and I like Julian Edelman. So, I like his. He got an A. The person that I'm not quite understanding why he did this was Rodney Frederick, because he got Will Fuller, Rashad Penny, and that's it. And so I'm not understanding why he did this. It didn't help his team. Rashad Penny isn't the starter for that team, even with Carson fumbling 2 times. He's hurt now.
Rod fully expects Penny to take over that job.
And
he fully expects Will Fuller to have some big games like he did last year. So I understand where Rod's coming from, because he traded away Devontae Freeman and he got Robert Woods, and he's trying to transform his team a little bit. He's trying to pull it out of the cellar and at least get it to the first store. And I understand why he made the move. Julian Edelman is up there in age. He's just as big of an injury risk as Will Fuller. But yes, I think Julian Edelman is the safer player. I think CoPro, personally, I think that the way the trade was constructed, I really do feel CoPro got a pretty good haul for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean, Mustard was a better deal last week before the Tevin Coleman news came through.
Yes.
And then didn't you get did you get D.D. Westbrook, or did you get someone hot garbage that no one cares about?
Yeah, I got the rookie running back for Detroit. I think it's like Ty Johnson or something.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's Ty out there now.
Ty trash bag.
I severed Ty.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still going to give you an A. Kaprovic gets an A. Rodney, you're getting a D here, man. That I just don't see. Fuller's got a chance. Again, Fuller's gotten hurt the last 2 years straight. Anytime he's ever on a hot streak. And right now, the Houston Texans are not on a hot streak. So, yeah, not really sure. I see the upside, what you're looking for, but I don't know that you're going to get it right now. The season could prove me wrong, and will fully apologize when and if that happens.
Here's the thing about Will Fuller, and I'm a Texans fan, but everybody keeps forgetting the Texans traded for Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills has been eating into the Will Fuller role since he showed up. he's been getting big chunk plays downfield, which is the Will Fuller role. So instead of Will Fuller getting all those targets, he's getting it's going to Kenny Still too. The next trade we have is Lovick traded Russell Wilson to Adam for Joe Mixon. Analyze that trade, Stu.
Dum da dum dum dum. Yeah, never ever trade a running back 2 for a quarterback. Adam has now traded 2 quarterbacks for a top 25 running back. This season alone, not just like he's done that before. No. This season, in 3 weeks of fantasy football, he has done that twice. Chasing points is all I can think of because I don't think Russell Wilson is doing that again this year. Now, is Russell Wilson going to still be good the rest of the season? Yes, he is. But he already paid a high price to give away Christian McCaffrey to get Lamar Jackson and then traded him away for pennies on the dollar. So, yeah, not sure why. Adam, you get a D. Lovick, you get a B+ because Mixon is right now. We'll see if he can have a better game. So, yeah, that's crazy. All right, guys.
I think good.
What is it?
I said, yeah, I agree. I think it was a good trade for Lovick.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to our WAB Lotto. All right, Brad. Let's have a real quick recap of what our current totals for WAB is right now.
Okay. Mo, top dog here also. 95 left on WAB. Followed by Vince at 93, Copro at 90, Sam at 80, Dixon at 68, Day at 66. I'm sitting there at 43. Rod's at 40. Stu, you're at 38 because you had to go out and get the Wayne train.
Yep.
Lovick's at 38. Adams at 26. And Matt really wanted some Chargers D in his life, so he's at 16.
That big charge D. That big D. You got to have that big D. And then
he got
justify
charged really good for that D.
Yeah, he did. All right. Yeah, it was a crazy week this week. Some big points were had. It's what are you going to do about it? All right, guys.
Yep. So
we're going to go ahead and move on to our Laura Bell Bundy big board of bets.
Giddy on up and giddy on out.
All right, this week, I don't know that we had a whole lot of crazy differences other than the 2-2s for the draft. The Get Some podcast versus the Fantasy Gravy podcast. Most correct picks from week 3 on. Currently, we're leading 4-3. So, I think we're going to continue to predict these correct. I think we're going to hold our lead, and it looks like those 3 will be wearing tutus and possibly owning a dildo.
that would be shameful for them, and that would bring shame to their families. But let's go ahead and get to our biased matchup predictions.
Very biased, super biased. All right, guys.
Very, very biased.
Super biased. So last week, guys, we went 4-6. My loss to Day Day really sucked. But we're still winning the bet. That's what matters. Brad, what do we got this week?
We got Stu versus Day. And we have you picked to be victorious, Stu.
Yeah, I am interested in this. I hope I win. I think I'm going to win, but Sleeper does not agree. And Sleeper is not always right because it said I was going to beat Dixon last week. I think Sleeper should have known that Saquon was going to get hurt and gone from there. But
yep. The next...
What is it?
Oh no, you're correct. Sleeper needs to predict injuries.
Injuries, like they need to get that in their system. So, all right, we've got Kaprovic versus Matt. We've got Kaprovic winning this one. He's got a good team, even with these trades and these injuries. I think he's going to beat Matt.
Yeah, I think Julian Edelman's going to have a big game that week. And then we have Adam versus Rod. We're going with Adam. We're going with Russell Wilson because Wilson plays. Who does Seattle play? I think they play like some scrub team or something like Arizona.
Yeah, I believe so. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a pretty good game for them. He's going to have another nice game. Neither one of them have great teams as of right now, but this might be the game of the week actually.
Yeah, I think it will be the game of the week.
All right, then we've got Brad versus Lovick. Brad, who's going to win this one?
Well, if your only running back's Le'Veon Bell and he's not playing, I'm gonna predict I win. Now, with that said, Lovick's wide receivers are just completely fancy whack-a-moles. So if they all go off, I mean, I could lose. It's just anything can happen. But Sleeper gives me a pretty good percentage chance of winning, 89%. So, and Lovick didn't get the Rams D or the Chargers D, so I feel very confident. I see myself going 4-0, Lovick going 0. And then the next matchup we have is Vince and Dixon. Also a very intriguing matchup. Who do you think takes this one?
I'm giving it to Dixon again. I've bet on him 2 of 3 weeks. And every time I bet for him, he's won one time and he's lost one time. I bet against him last week, and then he showed me and beat me. So I'm going to go with Dixon again this week.
Yep. I think James Conner has a gets right against Cincinnati's woeful defense on Monday night. Baker Mayfield for Vince plays Baltimore. David Johnson plays Seattle. Todd Gurley is Todd Gurley right now. And Austin Hooper's not going to have a double touchdown game again.
Nope.
I just feel that this is going to be a win for Dixon.
Yep. And then we've got Sam versus Mo. We got to pick Mo right now. Mo is the answer. Mo is the answer always as of right now until something changes. Possibly Eckler goes away. But
if you think you're going to get versus Mo, the answer is no.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4-0 start for him. It looks like he's done this before, so he's very used to, holding on to the win lead and trying to run it to the playoffs. So I think he's going to do it again this week.
Oh, that's all we have for this week's podcast of Fantasy Gravy. I hope y'all have a terrific rest of your week. Good luck with your matchups, except for you, Lovick. I don't want you to win because I'm facing you. And I'm pretty sure, Stu doesn't want Day to win either.
Nope. All right, guys. Enjoy this hour of power. Have a good week, guys.